life, have you ever felt alone? You try to fall into strangers' arms, but you never find a home. What do you do when you are, as they say, a lost soul? Is it better for isolation or to reach out to the Lord? The Lord. I'm walking and you're talking and you said it before, but you repeat the same patterns. You don't treat yourself well at all. It's like you go from grace and love to swell to hell. And if you believe in heaven, and you believe in God, in my opinion, no matter the denomination, how do you believe one without the other? Jesus taught us there are many ways of hell. And how do we translate the pain we suffer now? I don't have the answers, and I don't professionally sing. It's like a release that provides me with inner peace. So, thank you for listening. I just wanted to let you know, welcome to Lasha's Take. My eyes were closed as I was singing because if any of you have been to this channel before, everything that I do is 100% impromptu. However, a lot has changed, and in essence and in truth, not my truth or the community's truth or anybody's opinion, I am here to share with you what went on YouTube last week. Because of this 24-hour news cycle. You know, I am not a Michael Jackson fan. However, I can, at this moment in my life, discern the man from the music. And he was a musical genius. There's no question about that. It's very important to realize that. And I'm sure that's the last thing that his alleged, um, we'll leave it at that. But that song he wrote, Stop Pressuring Me, it makes me want to scream. You know, I really do think that God provides for us when we're ready to receive it. And it was 62 days ago that Charlie Kirk was alive prior to his assassination. So I am a free flowing creative type. And this is just something, not just, this is something that I wrote prior to coming live tonight. And if you've been with me thus far, please do stay. And I understand how YouTube works. You have to grab people's attention in the first 15 seconds, or you will likely lose the entire point that you want to make. And even though a lot of what I do is impromptu, I am not suggesting in any way, shape, or form that, look, our input and the output numbers don't usually lie. And so this is a smaller channel, and this is what I wrote right now. Welcome to Lasha's Take. If you've gone on to my shorts, you'll notice that I started this channel 2.5 years ago. I have very, very strong intuition. And if you don't believe me, go to Brittany at the Royal News Network or Cheer Denise, because they started their channels before I did. And Cheer Denise is at, oh gosh, she has a viewership of well over 142,000 participants that really participate in the comment section. And that to me shows that you've done an excellent job when you're giving your opinion and you're putting out your voice, your time, your energy into the world. And I don't know who's watching or not watching right now. My eyes are closed. I'm concentrating because I'm a very nervous person. Um, but I have a lot to say. And the reason I mentioned my shorts, which is a segue into my written word about Charlie Kirk, it's only been 62 days, but, however, because I am not negating anything in which I say tonight. I started this channel as a non-donation charity to reach over the Google goal of 1,000 quote unquote subscribers, which I like to refer to as people who participate. And, you know, I really do believe this. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. And when people come back to the channel, and numbers show me who comes back, who doesn't come back. But there are so many people that just cheered me on from the beginning because I experienced corruption from a smaller level, which is what I believe happened to Charlie Kirk. He was assassinated on September the 10th of 2025. Today is November the 10th of 2025, being Tuesday. And, you know, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who EricaKirk was prior to his passing. And I can tell you that the trauma I endured, which is all over the channel, and you can also find further information on change.org. You literally have to search for my name, which is Lasha, and my last name is like Rajerko, but instead of an R, you use an N, like 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 Nana. So my last name is spelled Rojenko. And there you will have the story of the medical malpractice in Canada. Um, but it was a lower form of corruption. And when I heard the Charlie Kirk situation, ironically, because I am such a YouTube junkie, and when I went through the trauma, what sort of jolted my brain again back to engagement were different podcasts, Diary of a CEO, Candace Owens, Ian Carroll. I remember when the HD3 podcast, I remember speaking into Google, and this was when Leaving Neverland came out, and I was in a wheelchair for a year. So, in essence, um, my leg was straight, and for an entire year, and I couldn't walk. But my whole point is, I got into YouTube, and I remember when the HD3 podcast was at maybe 10,000 viewership, which in my opinion is a lot of people. You know, so and I watched Cheer Denise grow and grow and grow. I watched Brittany grow and grow and grow. I do have ADHD, so forgive me if I wrap myself in a circle and then unwrap it and then wrap it up. But if you could give me a 2-minute break, I have no sponsors whatsoever. However, I'm just going to the tap to grab myself some water. However, I think I can bring you with me and continue to talk. And for those of you that are there listening, I really do appreciate you taking the time. Hi there, my name is Lasha. My name is Lasha Rayenko. You've reached the channel, Lasha's Take. I live in is that lighting better? I live in Grimsby, Ontario. Oh, as soon as I put my face up, three people left. Did I scare them? Anyways, I really wanted to talk about EricaKirk and the parallels in which I see between The Handmaid's Tale, that dystopian Hulu special, and the main character was Serena Joy Waterford, and their handmaid was Offred. And I was just looking at myself today, and I'll show you why. And it's not because I am a narcissist, it's because of this. So, all right, I'm getting ready today, and this is what I have on. Okay, so this is what I have on. I love the color red. And, I actually went to get my hair cut, and this is the haircut, but I want to change it. I'm 54 now. I need to look a little more mature. However, I'm wearing red, and these are my boots, and I wear those socks, those warm socks here. But in essence, what happened to me was a situation with hardware in the wrong place in a surgery. So I'm wearing red, okay? And I have this coat that I've had for since 2015, when there used to be such a thing called boutiques. And women of all ages, shapes, and sizes would go shopping. So I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking, okay, well, red's a great color. And then I look at my feet and look at my boots. Does this not remind you of Offred from The Handmaid's Tale? So then I start thinking oh, I've got makeup running down my face. So then I start thinking about EricaKirk and the Charlie Kirk assassination. That's why I sang at the beginning, impromptu, and I wrote something, and I'm just going to change the camera back. Also, just to let you know, this is my YouTube room. Oh, darn it all. See, people come and go. Sorry. Um, so I just wanted to say too, with people coming and going, and when you're a smaller channel, you have to be really good, really fast to do well. And I'm so proud of the channels that did really well. So I want none. Oh, there's my mother and I. But at any rate, I was trying to show you the Canada. I'm Canadian, and I'm trying to look at no picture, like zilch, to show you the Canadian flag. But you know what? At this point, I don't think it matters. I will simply read to you. I will read to you what I wrote. And if you just arrived here, I'm talking about the parallels of EricaKirk and Serena Joy from The Handmaid's Tale. And I looked a lot deeper into the conservative movement and the youth. I watched the Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro in its totality. I went through every single Candace Owens video from the very beginning to the very end. I tracked EricaKirk's whereabouts, what was going on. Everybody on the internet is talking about this. Hi there, Pam. How are you? It's nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time. It's interesting. It's really hard to keep people's attention for more than 35 seconds. So, Pam, if you're still there, would you tell me where you're from? I live in Grimsby, Ontario, Canada. And again, I wanted to talk about the parallels of Gilead, this conservative American, uh, Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's assassination, um, and being completely, well, I said this at the beginning, I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was from the beginning. I didn't know who his wife was. I live in Canada. Um, but at any rate, this is what I wrote. I'm trying to take the green screen off. So, okay, well, there's me. All right, there I am. Okay, so yeah, all right, here we go. So this is what I wrote. Everything that I do is like free flow. And Charlie Kirk and his wife Erica really um, helped me reassess my faith. And I'm 54. I was 46 in that picture. So that picture is, oh gosh, at what? Um, I'm 54, and that was 8 years ago, and that was before in the wheelchair. So I'm trying to show you a recent photo of me. There I am. Okay. Trevor and I were talking for a little bit, but there I am. Okay. And that was tonight. I'm going to say this is all my opinion. It's all fair use. It's hi there, TJ. Okay. All right. Well, I'm starting over today, and this is because of EricaKirk and Charlie Kirk. I found out about it in real time when I was watching Joe Rogan and Charlie Sheen, and that's a whole other podcast that I want to do. I go back a week, and every Monday I conduct a live to talk about what went on when. And I will do so, however, back to what I wrote. So today is Tuesday, November the 10th of 2025. Welcome to our rap community, wherein Trevor's Infinite Horizons and Lasha's Take meet to discuss last week's news. Walking, talking, um, scrolling, and polling. Um, we roll with the punches every day. And, you know, who are they? I always say, who is they? And tomorrow will be a better day. That seems to be a saying that goes around. And they, meaning the facts, here's a fact: they are the fat cats that we're feeding. I wish that Charlie Kirk debated, but now he's faded. The subject in which I wanted to debate was about, am I allowed to say the word adoration? It's about a boar, okay, versus adoption. The Netflix series I watched today, I wish he was around today to talk about certain subjects. And I must say, I lost that chance. Now, without knowing this man, a huge Trump supporter, um, risking his very constitution every day, who else is there out there? Who else? Who else? Who else in the world of all people? He really was a shooting star, and he left behind a wife and two kids and a devoted wife. And he passed, and his children are his legacy. And I wish the children peace on this earth, as when innocence is shattered. And you've been, sorry, I'm a little slow with this because I wrote it on the fly. Trauma, shoot. Um, okay, so, um, yeah, so I wish the children peace on this earth, as when innocence is shattered and you've been spiritually battered, or worse, something far worse, trauma, I just would like to look at the pictures. This was me before my trauma. That's me now. That's 8 years later. But I just wanted to say, okay, so Charlie Kirk, whether you're spiritually battered in any type of trauma, your amygdala is on fire, like a burning rubber tire, a never ending chemical reaction. So just think of, throwing a match on a tire, and that stress when his very constitution was being held under arrest, and you can read between the lines in whichever way you want. But that stress hormone, cortisol, on that terrible, terrible day. And I just watched that video, and it was his life was just taken away so quickly on September the 10th of 2025. You know, until tonight, he was alive. And today's Tuesday, November the 10th of 2025. He can no longer bring his wife flowers, a memorial, and his wife's trauma, the children's trauma, Candace Owens's trauma, anybody who loved him, his parents' trauma. When you go through trauma on this earth, it really does prepare you for a moment of rebirth. Taking away the innocence of a child, a grown man, a grown woman, an adolescent, and somebody, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, any type of trauma. It's like taking away somebody's innocence and taking a mirror and smashing it on the ground, you know? And when you think about a mirror being smashed on the ground, and that's the only mirror that you ever have, and that's the only way that you can ever look at yourself, or get ready to see if you're presenting yourself well, fashionably to the world. Because if we don't project the norms of this world, you're an outcast. So imagine walking around with that secret, that the very mirror and the very body you have, you had to piece together that mirror with glue. And as many times as you try, as many touch ups as you have, you're just never the same. However, at the end of the day, trauma helps one get through to the light. And I admire Charlie Kirk at his age having that moment of rebirth at whatever age. He was never filled with any rage. And, I want to talk about some of the podcasts out there. I just want to look at some of these pictures that I took. Hi, TJ. Okay. And thank you very much, Pam. Thank you for watching. I'm not finished yet, though. These are questions that I have about Charlie Kirk and the actual murder. I mean, the reason that and really, in all honesty, today I am going to talk about other news that was on YouTube last week, but I can promise you, based on the I have almost 350 subscriptions. So, based on all of the subscriptions I have, in one way or another, in all of the feed, 60% of this was the content. And I've really looked at Candace Owens's argument. I've looked at EricaKirk's behavior. I've worked at grieving. I caught Erica, in my opinion, it was not the full truth unless, my timeline was completely wrong. And, I'm not here to judge. Who the F am I here to judge anybody on anything? I'm just sharing my observations because if you've ever been violated in any way, whether it's something in my situation with my leg and a medical malpractice, and, to this day, I still deal with this, or whether it be what Virginia Dufresne went through. Those types of situations, that what Virginia did was so rare and so unbelievable. She started a movement. And I do believe she did die of suicide. Now, when you think about Charlie Kirk, the questions that I have, and EricaKirk has made this very clear, 70, when the last interview that I saw her do, she was on Fox News. It was a very anticipated interview. She was dressed appropriately. She looked beautiful. I thought she held herself together. Um, she started to grow on me a little bit. She doesn't have the Meghan Markle effect in any way. Um, but don't forget, for those of you that love Donald Trump, please don't be angry with me, but he's just not my cup of tea. He's really he's really brought the Canadian economy to its knees. And, people really don't seem to care anymore because, like I said, the news cycle goes so fast. I mean, Diane Keaton passed away. I mean, I could go on and on and on with my notes, but I don't want to get, and then I'd love to talk about, the Me Too movement and Virginia Giuffre, and I have. However, in retrospect, I have more to say on that matter in reference to Andrew Lowney. And I was right about Brittany from the Royal News Network. I messaged her when she was at, maybe 10,000 people were participating, which I said were lots of people. And I emailed her way back then. And I said, you know what? I said, your channel is going to explode. I said, every time I come to this channel, I said, you're authentic, you stick to the facts. I leave here learning something. Your presentation, your voice intonation is beautiful. Her jewelry that she wears, her lab made diamonds. I should remember the name, Luisha or something, Luciana Diamonds or something. And she believed in it. Mm. I wrote Brittany and in the comments and I said, you are going to get so popular, you're going to end up on Dan Wooden. And there she was. And Andrew Lowney, it was like I knew this girl had talent. I wish I could be a talent agent. That has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk, but also I just wanted to mention Cheer Denise. I mean, she inspired me, um, and I I I just she's really one to talk to, and her channel has grown and grown and grown, and I really hope that she's able to do this for a living now because she's that dynamic. So those are two channels to go to. Maureen Callahan, The Nerve, you know that I love. Kinsey Schofield. Those are the videos and the commentators, content creators that I hyped last week. But back to Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk. What I learned from them is if there is a heaven, there has to be a hell. There is absolutely no question about it. Children are really innocent. And I don't want to say anything because one of the things Erica Kirk said on Fox News, which I agree with, because everything I'm sharing with you is based on everything you probably already know. Um, you know, um, I'm not, I've never been this fascinated with the story because just call it a gut intuition. It's just begun. This is going to turn into the Epstein files. That's my prediction. Um, I may be right. I may be right. I may be crazy. Anyways, I just want to leave it at that right now. And Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk were married for 4 years. She's 4 years older. Her mother and father have ties to the military. Her father has written books. She's lived a very privileged life. Donald Trump knew her before Charlie Kirk did. I believe, in my opinion, it was the administration that had something to do with it. And it needs to be the trial needs to be open and transparent. Why would this not be open and transparent when all we did on internet seriously in 2022 was it? The Johnny Depp trial? I mean, come on. Um, and Candace Owens, it was interesting to me. Erica Kirk said that she did not open her phone for weeks. I just don't believe that. Why? She said she didn't open her phone. She isolated herself for weeks. Well, that's impossible because how would she even know how to reference the conspiracy theory? How would she? Okay, the guy who interviewed her on Fox, I mean, that was just a couple of days ago. And Charlie Kirk has only been gone for 62 days. Candace Owens is doing everything in her power, in my opinion, authentically looking for answers because when she said that Erica Kirk has the grace to forgive, Candace Owens said, quote, I don't remember in what order. I don't want to put this in the wrong context. But she said, I don't have that type of grace because I don't even know what I'm forgiving yet. She said, Erica Kirk said she trusts her team. And Erica Kirk will talk and she'll say, I trust the team. I trust my team. But why did they move his body? It was a crime scene. If he had passed away, why on earth would they move his body at all if he was gone at that moment? You put up the white tape so it can be investigated. It was a public assassination. Why on earth would they move the body? It doesn't make sense to me. And Candace Owens was the first one that came out charging, saying, you know, Candace Owens was the first one who came out charging, saying, you know, I do not have the grace in which EricaKirk does, because EricaKirk is able to forgive. I'm not able to forgive. I'm experiencing emotions I've never felt in my life. I'm so angry. She was very honest about that, you know. But in my opinion, she really seems to be fighting for who Charlie Kirk's killer is, and we haven't heard heads or tails about uh Tyler Robinson. We haven't heard anything about Tyler Robinson. So the whole thing is a little confusing to me, but what I wanted to say is I've been here for 40 minutes and 55 seconds. This is part 1 of Serena Joy Waterford and EricaKirk, because I noticed there was a book there. And in The Handmaid's Tale, Serena Joy writes a book about a movement and taking care of your husband. And I'm thinking to myself, when I was wearing my Lady in Red, I thought, oh gosh, I really hope this doesn't turn out to be true. You know, I finally understand the conservative movement. I can't believe the way Ben Shapiro tried almost to coerce Megyn Kelly into siding with him. Ben Shapiro reminds me of a yappy little chihuahua. What's his problem? He is simmering with anger, like simmering with it. What's wrong if you're pro-Israel or not pro-Israel? This involves a deeper conversation with more people. I wish that people would take a chance on smaller channels, because we could have potentially had a great conversation. But it's up to all y'all. That's a wrap.